Alright guys, welcome. Ryan here from the London Craftsman, and today's video is all about what I take to measure up all my joinery jobs at a customer's house. Stay tuned, watch to the end and check out to see what's inside this box. Okay, so let's go freehand on the camera, show you the inside of our box. So lay it on the side. We've got two little catches, one, two, that's releasing it. I've got little rubber grommets all over my box, as you can see on each corner. So when I'm on site, I can lay it down on any surface. Rubber grommets everywhere because at the end of the day, it's a handmade box. Handmade handles, and as you can see, the build all the way around is mitered. Corners mitered everywhere so we don't see any butt joints. This is birch ply, this box, and we have oiled it in grey, then giving it a coat of lacquer. So let's open it up and reveal its secrets. There we go. So what we have inside, we've got a little rebate here. My thoughts were, okay, when I get there, I can open it up, take out my measuring up book, which generally lived in there. But then I thought, when I get home, I've got to take my box back in the office, open it up, because I generally leave that either in my van or the workshop. So I've allowed that idea. My measuring up book always stays outside, and what I've done is I've put, a laminate sample, Egger, I believe, within that space. I try and stay away from laminates, if I'm honest. Anyone who does use them, apologise. This is just my personal preference. But I try and stay closer to these sort of more natural materials, such as birch, veneers. Well, say natural, and still use MDF and sheet material. But yeah, I try not to show a customer that if I can help it. If they're desperate for laminate, I will show them that. Let's open up one part of the box. You can see our little panels are held on with little roller clips, and we've got a little roller ball clip here and here, and that holds it in nice and tight, little finger hole just to pull that little lid up. I have marked one of these. Can you see a little black mark? So that lines up with that black mark. So I know if I'm at a customer's house and they get mixed up, I know which way they go back. So they clip in nice and tight every time. And they do a fantastic job of holding everything in once the whole box is closed and it's in the van getting chucked around and so on. So let's go through a few bits. Firstly, tape measure. Everyone needs a tape measure. Can't do it without. I don't bother with a rule or anything. Just an 8-meter Stanley tape measure gets me out of trouble every single time. There we go. Pencil. Nice sharp 2H most likely. What is that? Yep, 2H pencil. We've got our laser measurer. When I'm doing long distances on my own, this is an absolute godsend. Very, very accurate. I found that it's sort of accurate within 2 mil, give or take. Most measurers only go up to, do it in centimeters. I found that this one is very accurate and it's to the mils. So anyone who's interested, it is the TLM 99 by Stanley. I actually have 2 of these. One just lives in my box, my site box, and one lives in my measuring up box, along with some spare batteries and a little cover for it. A little mini level. I take this mainly because, I don't particularly want to take a big level. I can put this on top of a straight edge to make it longer. Bevel, to be able to transfer our lines possibly onto a bit of paper. And we also have a digital version. It's a little trend digital angle finder. So you just turn it on the side, on off button, there we go. Flick it around and it tells you what the angle is. Really handy, and you can open it up straight as well into the long position, and you can use it as a straight edge too at the same time. So I find that very handy. We have our ironmongery from now on, so that is everything I need to be able to measure up. And well, apart from my measuring up book, which is over here, bit basic. I don't care what my freehand pictures look like. I literally just scribble them down. As long as I've got all the information I need on that paper, whatever, I write it down. I don't go for a graph paper. I don't go for line paper. I just go for plain paper. pencil, freehand. On the back of it, I do have this. So it's, you know, I bought it from an exhibition, and you can put your piece of paper on it. It did have sticky bit here, so you put your paper there, it holds it, and then you can literally just draw your pencil and it'll follow the lines and give you nice 100% square straight lines. Anyone interested, it's called Freehand Designer, straightlinesuk.com. But let's talk about ironmongery. You know, we've showed them one of our runners. Basically, it's a side-mounted runner. I just show them this is the sort of style that they're getting, even though it's going to be brand new. Got to change that. We've got a 25mm chrome hanging rail. We can also say to the customer we can get any finish. We get white, we can get timber, but generally this is our standard. If they want to tell us anything different, we make notes. I forgot to say, we've got a little ruler as well for a straight edge. What else? We don't actually stock a catalogue as such of handles and bits and pieces like that. So we just say you can either get yourself a handle or a set of handles and we'll fit them on a day. Or if you just want to just use any of ours, we always carry these as backups. Very basic ones, but gets people out of trouble. You know, we always carry a selection. And some pins. We show them what shelf pins that we use. I generally go for the smaller ones, to be honest. We go for the smaller ones generally for our adjustable shelves. And mainly we always say to customers, go down the adjustable shelf route, so it just gives you more scope, more adjustment with your shelves. With fixed, you can't move them ever, can you? And hinges, we show them what type, so we open and close it, show them that we always use slow close. We don't tell them the different types, for example, half overlay, full overlay, inset. We tell them that they're going to be hinges that are concealed, they're inside the door, you won't see them from the front. Got lots of adjustment and they're brilliant for that. Again, they're very, you know, they're really handy rather than using butt hinges. I try and stay away from them if I can. So you can see the rebate there of the box that allowed for this to go in and allow for a little book in there and at the same time house all my equipment. Let's move on to this side, which is the samples. So let's open it up. Again, same way, roller catches. And what we have mainly is 3 or 4 different types. We've got birch plies, which is all of this. We've got veneers, which I always say to the customer, I use oak veneer just because I like the grain and it stains really well. I let them know that I can get any other veneer, for example, beech, ash, mahogany, anything like that, but it's a lot more expensive. To give you a nice grain, we go for oak because when you stain it, it gives you a nice finish and the grain really pops. So let's pull those out. We've got 12 of those, all exactly the same, and at the back of each one we've written down what they are. Mahogany, pebble, ebony, silk grey, I think that's actually the box, believe it or not, silk grey, granite grey, pine, and these are all Osmos, by the way. White, walnut, oak antique, we've got raw, which doesn't change the colour, we've got matte white, and we've got cognac, and I've got all the numbers at the back so they can take a picture of it as well and just Google the name and the number of the Osmo. As you can see, I've got a sample here of the Osmos. We've got raw, so for example this raw here, it does not change the colour of the wood, so that would be this one. It's the standard oak, but you know, it hasn't changed the colour of the oak by applying the oil because it's got white pigments. But I generally use Osmos anyway. That's my go-to oil. I never have any trouble. They're reasonably priced. They're very, very good at protecting materials. I've got loads of different types of lacquers and varnishes, 2-part varnishes and lacquers, which I try and stay away from, and others here. But like I said, these are my go-to with the Osmo. Never have any problems, and if the customer wants any different colours, I say I can just shop around and use different brands if I need to. So that is all of the veneers, and the center of it is just MDF, and it's got a 1mm thick veneer on the top. It's oak veneered MDF, this particular type. Let's move on. So the bigger squares, these are all birches. So if we flick through a couple, you can see the end grain. I really like birch. Not sure if you see my YouTube videos. I'm building a ultimate workbench. You can see a whole stack of the birch there as well in the corner. I love birch. I just find it a really, really nice, strong, robust material. A bit on the expensive side, especially nowadays with the Corona and Brexit. It's doubled in price, but it's a very, very dense, strong, laminated material. Takes stain really well. And again, I've got a few selections of oils, most likely near enough the same as what you see on these. All different colours. This one in particular I like, one of the best. This is more of a natural birch colour. See the edges. And this has just had a clear oil. It's probably this one here, which is a Pollux oil, clear. So that just protects it and just keeps it near enough the same colour. That's one of my favourites. And we got a few more. We got snow, which gives it a whitewash, which is really nice. You can see the edge. Comes out really crisp. That's the favourite thing about it. I think my favourite thing is the actual edges. You can see them. People go, oh, what do you do with the edges then? I say, well, you see them. Older people generally go, nah, I don't want that. Can you cover the edges? And again, then I say, well, it's pointless having it. You might as well have a veneer. We've got a sample, a bigger sample of the oak veneer there. And that is in its raw state, raw colour, before we oil. Then we've got a couple of samples. There's one here which has been professionally sprayed by one of those HVLP sprayers, which is like a car sprayer, just to let people know that they can have a slightly different finish. If they want, it's expensive, but I will send that off to be sprayed. And then we're coming across a few other of my painted samples. This one here is my painted finish. This one is actually just an off-white. It's sprayed on MDF, 6mm, and that is my go-to sample to show them. I spray generally eggshell or silk, and these are the finishes that I get. Very, very slight texture, which you can't see in the light, but it's very, very good. Customers 99% of the time go for painted. So that is one of my painted samples. I also have a painted sample on top of a skirting detail. When I do details and somebody says they want a little bit of a moulding, I sometimes cheat and buy different sort of MDF mouldings off the shelf, because you can get 10 at least of different shapes and mouldings. When I spray them up, and I can use them as a pelmet or cut them down, and I've got myself a nice detail to add onto a ledge, for example. So I show them that. Also shows my painted finish. That's creamy colour, that's white. Again, another one showing the edge painted and how we round over the arises to show that every component gets sprayed in the same way on our spray room bench. Put on top, sprayed all the way around, but before we do, we take off all the sharp edges with a machine and router. If you want to know what does that, it's a Makita trimmer plus a micro round cutter. See video for that in my list. And again, another sprayed version, but this one is more of a satin finish, which again, HVLP. Very expensive, about £100 a square metre, I believe. We outsource this to people if somebody wants this kind of finish, because we only really spray household paints. You can see up here, silks, eggshells. Don't really spray glosses, but everything is water-based. And we spray it through our Graco 695, or one of them at least. We got 6 or 7 of these sprayers. We also have a cordless version that we can take on site for touch-ups. What else have we got to show you? Velcro mat. Anyone heard of Velcro mat? It's basically a coloured MDF that's coloured all the way through, so when you cut it, the colour stays into the grain. And I do show people this, and I absolutely love it. It's quite expensive. It might be 120 quid for a sheet of this 21 mil. I think it's different sizes. It's 21, it's 28, it's 11. You know, it's 2 or 3 mils off the sizes that you get on MDF and our usual sizes. I actually met the guy at a woodworking exhibition on this sort of stuff about 8-10 years ago, when he first sort of designed it. It's been out a little bit longer than that, but he was going, well, I said to him, well, why don't you do white? And he said, that's the most common question I ever get asked, why don't you do white? And he said, the reason is you need so much bleach to be able to make a white version of this. It's just not feasible. So this basically is great for people who want to do one-off pieces like a funky alcove unit or even flooring. It's got so much resin content, this. It's so dense and it's so tough. It's unbelievable. One-off pieces, unless you've got a lot of money and you don't mind doing a whole wardrobe. I did a whole wardrobe in black for a guy in Victoria, a walk-in wardrobe, and the materials were something like 3.5 grand just for the materials. So you can imagine the price of his whole wardrobe once it was finished. I like this one because it looks like concrete. And there it is, Valchromat, engineered coloured wood. It's a Portuguese guy who designed it, and it's a Portuguese company. Definitely worth a look. I carry those anyway, just to show people and just give them a little bit of wonder of what else they can do if they want to change things up or go for something completely different. Anyway, moving on. We've got a few other little bits and pieces. So we've got a couple of trims sprayed up. That's a furrow and ball colour. Can't remember which one. But if anyone wants a trim on the front of their ledge or little details to go around bits and pieces. And another one, if we're going to bead something, for example, a beaded door, we'd show them what kind of beads they can use. One other thing is, like I said, I don't like using laminate. As I said when I was talking about this Egger catalogue. But there is an exception. My cousin really loved Birch as much as me, but he really loved the white finish on the front. And he made me build him a wardrobe with routed in handles. You may have seen the video of me routering these handles. If you're interested, have a look at that. Finger pull handles, I believe. And basically it's white laminate, white laminated birch ply. Absolutely beautiful, I love it. Really gives feel of luxury. Having a really solid birch interior and a nice shiny laminate on the front. But I keep that just to show them, firstly, a laminate. Secondly, the birch and the laminate together, and thirdly, what kind of handle they can have. If they don't like, they want to go down the different route of, for example, not using handles. They just want push release or something like that. To be honest, saying push release, I do generally have a push release catch which lives in here, which I don't have today. And one other thing is I have one of these, which is a big square. Anyone seen these? So you open it up like so, and there you go. You've got yourself a giant square. I believe this is 1.2 by 1.2. I use this as a straight edge also with my level, but I generally have a 600mm version of that, which I can't find to show you for the video. Google it, something like that, you know, Amazon it, you'll find it. It's a folding square by Stanley. But there you go, guys. That is everything I need to measure up. Got my pad, my pencil, all my measuring up equipment, my levels. If you wanted to go a little bit further and you're measuring up something intricate, you can get a laser level. I sometimes bring that if I've got a big job to measure. We've got all our ironmongery, we've got all our samples, and also an iPad with our pictures on, so like a little slideshow they can flick through once I'm measuring up. They can just concentrate on looking at all our wardrobes and our websites while I'm measuring up. There you go, guys. I hope that helped. If you've got any questions, if you want to know anything else, just give us a shout. Let me know what you take. You know, I'd love to see some comments in there. Tell me what you take on site with you. Do you do it any different from me? Do you have a catalogue? Are you big company or a small company? We're a relatively smallish company, so we keep it just one box is all we need. Let us know in the comments, and we will also get back to you if you do. If you've liked the video, thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell button. Remember, look, we're on 22,200. Actually, that's changed. 22,350 as of today. So hit that like button, subscribe, bell button also if you're liking the content. Really love you to be a joiner or a subscriber of our channel. That's if you're liking our content anyway. So I'm going to love you and leave you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take it easy. Ciao for now.